What is up, Heffas and friends? Welcome to a very special episode of Java and Journeys with Jillian, where I am here in beautiful, sunny, yes, I said sunny, Seattle. I am here, y'all, partially for work, also partially to see some good friends and just hang out. And for many of you all who have been watching my channel, you have probably heard me wax poetic about my love for the West Coast, considering that I lived on the West Coast, though I'm originally from Atlanta, Georgia, lived on the West Coast for about 12 years, which is kind of crazy to think about. I had moved from Tennessee over to Seattle for grad school at the University of Washington. And then from there, lived in Southern California for a couple of years. And then now I'm currently located, as you all know, in Orlando, Florida. So when I get the opportunity to do so, I love coming out to Seattle. And you all know it is Java and Journeys with your girl, Jillian. And where did my passion and love for Java start out? Here in Seattle. What we're going to do is head over to one of my favorite coffee spots, Monorail Espresso, and then we're just going to walk over to Pike Place Market. I want to give you all a little bit of the view, especially with the day being as nice and clear as it is. And then we will wrap up from there, y'all. Let's go ahead and get on this journey. There are so many coffee spots in Seattle. I literally was racking my brains about where do I want to go? What do I want to show you all? And it occurred to me, I'm like, girl, you haven't been to Monorail Espresso for so many years. So what I love about Monorail Espresso is anytime I had finished some work in downtown Seattle, or if I just happened to be passing through, going to an event, hanging out, I would just pop over to Monorail, and they are so good. And y'all, there's an infinite number of great coffee spots here, and this ain't coffee from Orlando, Florida, okay? Pacific Northwest coffee is on a whole nother level, whether you get it from here in Seattle or even if you travel over to Portland, it is just bomb and everything. So Monorail Espresso is non-pretentious, very small. I absolutely love it. And the reason why it's called Monorail Espresso is because Seattle has a monorail that's located in this area, and it is just a fun little shop, and you all can see we're walking up to it. It's so nondescript, and that's what I love about it. It's so cool. You can see the stand here, and I used to come here all the time when I lived in Seattle. And what I love about it is that you see all these fun signs, and then of course, if you are going to ask for directions, jokingly. And you all know you have to have a sense of humor if you live here in terms of, where can I find some, certain greens around here. So like, I miss the non-pretentiousness here in Seattle and that you could just have a good time. And I just got my latte from Monorail Espresso, a honeysuckle latte, by the way, which is a flavor I have actually never had before. And so far, this is the third latte in my time being here that is totally and completely different. I had a sesame seed latte from another vendor. I had also gotten a lemon pound cake latte. Y'all, all of which is so good and not overly sweet. Check this out. You all know I am not tripping. Look at the color of this latte. Like, I love the way it looks, and depending on the place you go to, sometimes they do some really interesting latte designs, but like the color is deep and rich, and I'm not going to hold you all. I've already tried this, and it is so good. Anytime I come to Seattle, I try to not just get my standard basic lattes, but so many places have great lattes that have like that right balance of flavor and sweetness. So you never have to really worry about, unless you are someone who is just like, I don't want hardly any syrup, really asking for that reduction. I am just, I'm in my element, y'all. I am so happy to be here. So why don't we do this the way that we know how? We are going to cheers. Thank you for joining me on this very exciting journey. And y'all, I can't, like, just the perfect balance, not bitter, super creamy. This is why I put on so much weight when I was in grad schools, because I drank my weight worth in lattes, because it's just so good. Though you do have to be a bit disciplined, because let me tell you all, the calories will add up if you're drinking these things every day. But I can't help myself when I'm in Seattle. I am going to drink all the good coffee that I can before I head back to the South. But while we're on the subject, let's go ahead and head over to Pike Place Market as I talk to you all about a little bit more about my visit here. And we're going to be passing by Monorail just so you get a good view of what it looks like from the outside. And again, not pretentious, so much fun. But y'all, yes, so I had work in San Francisco last week, and I figured while I'm here, why not go to Seattle? The company I work for has a location in Seattle, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna pay for my way to go to Seattle, hang out with some friends, and also work out of the office that we have. So I feel really lucky to be able to do something like that. And y'all, it has been a long week. I think like oftentimes when I do my East Coast to West Coast work trips, it can just feel so draining because of the time difference, which is about 3 hours. And so right now it feels so much later for me than what it actually is here in Seattle right now. And so sometimes it just makes me feel like with anyone, you have that like jet laggy feeling where you don't know if you've gotten a lot of sleep. And I'm trying my best not to get fully adjusted to the time zone here. But now that I'm going on my second week on the West Coast, it's really hard not to. But I just felt at the end of the day, like, I don't know that I'm going to do any filming at all. I am so tired. But I figured, y'all, how can I do Java and Journeys and not take you all to one of my favorite coffee spots? And to show you all a little bit, and you hear the sirens going here, quintessential to city life, you're going to have a lot of sirens and loud noises, but it's been crazy. Even when I first came out to Seattle, and obviously this is back in 2013, to just see how much the city has changed, the downtown area has changed. It's really crazy. And I think that especially with the pandemic, a lot of businesses downtown took a hit. And some of you all may know, yes, homelessness is a massive problem in the city of Seattle. I can't say that I know if it's gotten any better, more or less, but it's a challenge, especially for a lot of businesses here that are dealing with all sorts of different issues. So while I think it is true that Seattle is plagued with high cost of living, with housing insecurity, I absolutely love Seattle. Like, pardon my French, but a lot of people tend to talk a lot of shit about Seattle, San Francisco, because of the high cost of living and just what's going on. But I will tell you all right now, like, I had some of the best times of my life on the West Coast, and I do not regret my decision at all to leave the South. I moved from Chattanooga, Tennessee. For those of you all that are familiar with Chattanooga, shout out to you. But it is a city that's located like southeast of Tennessee. And I love Chattanooga. I spent a lot of my adolescence in Chattanooga, went to school at the University of Tennessee, then transferred over to the University of Tennessee, Chattanooga. Great experience. But I felt like I needed more for my career, and I decided to get into education policy. So I pursued a second graduate degree. That's right, your girl's degreed up. I have 2 master's degrees, don't play with me. And I got accepted at the University of Washington. So myself, my co-producer, AKA husband, who is in the tech industry, decided that Seattle would be just a great fit for us, me for my education, him because of his background in tech. So we came out here, we fell in love with the city, and the rest is history. Lived in Seattle, worked in Seattle for close to 10 years. Then right around the pandemic, we moved to Southern California. And a lot of that, y'all, was just brought upon the weather, because typically it is very gray, it's cloudy, it's rainy, and I didn't mind it for the longest time. It didn't really start getting to me until we were in lockdown. And then my co-producer and I were like, well, we kind of want some sunnier pastures in case something like this happens again. We end up in another lockdown situation. And then we left Southern California and went back to the South. And I miss the West Coast. This is, I consider to be like a home to me. I absolutely do plan on moving back out here. But as we're getting closer to Pike Place Market, let me show you all what the view is looking like. It's such a beautiful day. I cannot wait to come back here. And as I was saying, Seattle and I throw San Francisco in there because I think they are both similar in terms of the issues that they experience. Though there are these challenges, there's such a spirit to being here in the city. And it's such a vibe. Like, y'all, it's non-pretentious, and the people here work hard, play hard, and also have a lot of character. So there is a quirkiness to Seattle, but as a girl that loves her leggings and crew neck sweaters, this was just like the perfect area for me. Y'all, here is Pike Place, and I'll tell you that the market is closed at this point because it's after 5 o'clock on a weekday. And I think it's still great for us to come here even after close because you all will be able to get a bit of a better view of the market. Y'all, I just had so many good times here. And though Pike Place is very touristy, there's so much good food you can get here. It's not like one of those touristy places that locals avoid. No, like locals and tourists alike go to Pike Place Market because there's so many things you can enjoy, and it's super expansive, as you all can see here. Now, the place where they typically throw the fish is right in front of me. And again, because we're past closed, everything is put away. But I love seeing them throwing the fish. And, you know, it's just cute, it's fun. And going back to how expansive it is, if you walk toward the back end of the market, y'all, you will get some incredible views. And with it being such a clear day, like, enjoy the view. Especially depending on where you're located in Seattle, you can see the mountains. I never saw mountains, y'all, in my life until I moved here. It really reminded me that in the South, we have hills, we don't have mountains. And here, there are mountains. So look at how beautiful it is out here. You see the wheel in the distance. And over in that direction is the ferry terminal. So if you want to go to places like Bainbridge Island, Bremerton, for example, you would just hop on a ferry to get over there, which is really cool. And it's so beautiful, especially on a day like today. Not raining, you could just see everything. The weather's warm. It has been pretty chilly since I've been here because really summer in Seattle doesn't kick off until July. But I am going to walk you all down this end. And also you'll see here these tables are clear, again because it's closed, but typically there are a lot of flower vendors that are out selling these beautiful bouquets. And y'all, oh my God, peonies. And you see the price, $45. But these peonies are so gorgeous, and peonies are my favorite, absolute favorite all-time flower. And you can get a lot of these bouquets actually for a great reasonable price. So you will see a mix of flower vendors. You'll see also other people selling produce, selling food, selling jewelry, and all sorts of things. But you can imagine during peak how insane it is out here. And I have not been in Pike Place, y'all, in years. I just haven't. And typically it's because when I visit, I only have a certain period of time to pick a few locations because I'm working too, so work is my priority. When I'm done with work at the end of the day, I have to be very strategic to figure out what am I going to do. I'm trying to spend time with friends, catch up, and even for me, like, just enjoy being around and hanging out and just like reliving some of the memories. I some other day, especially when I have a longer period of time out here, much more downtime built in, I'll have to show you all what this place is like when it's busy. And you'll get a chance to see a ton of seafood and a lot of cool offerings that is just like so quintessential Seattle. But you'll even see here, like with all this ice, y'all, this is typically all piled with seafood. Fresh seafood that you can get. And typically down this end of Pike Place are all vendors. So you get your food and your produce in the area basically where I passed. And then further down, you'll continue to see more flower vendors. But you'll see here, like, folks are selling seasonings, and sometimes it's jewelry, sometimes it's clothes. It really just depends. But even though we're past closing time here at Pike Place, I just like walking through and just thinking about the good times. I absolutely loved coming down here and buying a beautiful bouquet, trying out some food. And it's kind of crazy to me because I'm like, wow, a lot of the places I like going to, I don't think are here. If you ever find yourself in Seattle, I'll tell you right now, a couple of really great places to go to now. Some people think you'll see, I'll show you all a little more of up close look, Starbucks. And a lot of people are like, oh my God, this is the first Starbucks. It absolutely is not the first Starbucks. And y'all, don't play yourself. And you know, I have a place in my heart for Starbucks, especially Starbucks merch. Starbucks merch is everything, and I have 50 billion tumblers, right? But do not let me catch you coming to Seattle thinking that this is the first Starbucks and you were waiting in line. And typically the line is massive. And you'll see like all the, hi. And you'll see a lot of folks in there. And y'all, it is not the first Starbucks. I think actually it's like maybe like the third Starbucks, something along that line. But it's the same drinks. There's nothing unique. There's nothing exceptional. And I say that to say, don't go there thinking that you're going to get some like crazy unique first Starbucks drink. Like, no, it's not like that. It is the same thing. So don't play yourself, because typically during peak season as well in the summer, the line is wrapped around to get to that Starbucks because people want to think that they are going to the first Starbucks. No, do not at all play yourself. So y'all remember that view that we saw from the window? I'm actually going to show you all a much better view of that space. And you'll see here, folks are just like hanging out. And again, the sun is never out like this until like July. I should say it's never. As you get closer to the summer, you have sunnier days, but typically it is cloudy. Thank you. It is cloudy. It's rainy. But y'all, when the sun is out like this, there's this sketch from Portlandia, if anyone who is into Portlandia. I love Portlandia because anyone who lives, whether it's Portland or Seattle, Pacific Northwest, we all understood. And there's this one skit where Fred Armisen, they're like in Portland, and there's like a little sliver of sunshine coming out, and everyone then like gets on their shorts and their tank tops, and they're trying to stay in that one little sliver of sunshine because it's like, oh my God, the sun. Y'all, the struggle is real. It is exactly like that. But look at this view. Like, how can you not? And then I don't know if you can see it very well, but off in the distance, you'll see Mount Rainier. And again, when it's a clear day like this, you can see everything. And it's just so gorgeous. And the city of Seattle has like one of the best city lines, especially when you're driving into the city. And it's nighttime, you get a great view. But like, of course, prime real estate, if you can get a view of the water, and there's other lakes and everything around here too. That's like where you want to be. And I remember my co-producer and I had some friends that decided to move from Atlanta to Seattle. And they posted this on Facebook. And there were some folks like, why do you want to move to Seattle? Like, because I think for people who are in certain locations here in the US that, and I'm going down the stairs here, make sure I'm watching myself. But for certain people, they are confused because they associate Seattle with constant rain, constant gray weather. It's depressing, high suicide rates, like all this kind of like nonsense. And while some of that is true, weather-wise, and of course y'all know, like when it's gray and rainy, that can lead to higher rates of like depression, right? Like you don't have the sunshine. So the important thing is when you live in places that are subjected to cloudier weather throughout the year, you have to figure out a way of getting yourself out, getting that exposure, not staying cooped up for too long, because otherwise you do start feeling down and low. So you have to get yourself out. And a lot of getting yourself out is keeping yourself busy. A lot of people in the Pacific Northwest enjoy their outdoor activities, whether that's hiking, running. People are very, 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 very physically active here in the Pacific Northwest. But going back to our friends that had made that announcement, it's like, why are you moving over here? And I had this fantastic picture that I took and I posted it. I replied to this person and I was like, here's why. And it was just like more up close view of what you all just saw. And I'm like, Seattle is amazing and so gorgeous. And for me, I absolutely love it. I 100% want to either move back here or go back to Southern California. So it just depends, right? We're gonna see what the real estate is giving by the time myself and my co-producer are ready to make that move. We'll see. Obviously, I want to continue to give you all some Disney and theme park adventures. So we're leaning more towards Southern California, but we're very open. Now, let me cross the street. We're back over. So there's the Starbucks that I was talking about. We're not going to play ourselves, right? We're going to, if we're ever visiting Seattle, we're going to skip that. What you're going to do is go to Pierogi, and it is a Russian bakery. And you'll see some of the pictures here. And they have sweet and savory style pastries, and you can get kind of a look here at what are some of the best sellers. And y'all, Pierogi is bomb.com. It warms my heart to even see that that location is still there. It's been here for years. It's so good. And what my co-producer and I would do sometimes while we were here is we would literally walk out of Pike Place, go over to Pierogi, grab a coffee or grab a tea, and you have your pastry. It's a great like walkable food item. And we're just like chatting, hanging out, eating our Russian pastries, and just having a good time. Now, another place I would highly recommend is Beecher's handmade cheese. Beecher's is so good. It is a little pricey, but they have bomb macaroni and cheese. And the type of cheese they use is very different than your typical like Southern style macaroni and cheese. And what's also really cool is you can step over here and actually see the cheese making process, which is really incredible. And when the lines are super backed up, it gives you, something to look at. Almost like you're standing in line for a queue at Disney, except this is a savory culinary queue. and you have something delicious to look at. Highly, highly recommend Beechers as well. And if you're flying in through SeaTac, and let's just say you miss coming to Pike Place Market, they do have a Beechers as well. Thank you. They do have a Beechers as well at Pike Place. So I highly, highly recommend it. Excuse me. A Beechers at the airport in addition to Pike Place Market. So you can take your macaroni and cheese on the plane with you. Y'all, we are on the back side of Pike Place Market, and you'll see here a lot of construction going on right now, but these stalls are typically open, and you can actually walk out here and try even more places. It feels like an infinite amount of places that you can go to over here. And you see where some of these cars are parked. So some of these are vendors just trying to pack up and put their belongings back in their vehicles. You can drive down here. Do I recommend it? Hell no. Do not. Another pro tip for you all. Do not drive your car through Pike Place Market. You will get frustrated, annoyed, because typically there's a lot of people just walking up and down this backside on this brick road, and you don't want to feel like you're about to hit anyone or rush anyone, because the people here don't play, so they will yell at you if you start honking or being impatient. So don't drive your car down here. Park somewhere downtown, whether it's in a garage or on the street, and walk yourself over here. So you'll see we are back to where we started, and I'll take you all along the opposite side so that way you can see the other parts. And here's again another great view. We're gonna head on back. Another place I really like when I would come over here for some tea, I love going to Market Spice. And Market Spice is so good. They have, I've never actually purchased coffee from here, but I've purchased my fair share amount of teas. And of course, if there's certain cooking spices that you like, it is excellent for that. And when you wrap your way around Pike Place, another spot I recommend is the Daily Dozen. They have these mini donuts, and it's so good. And typically, the donuts come out of this machine and they gather here. Oh my gosh, y'all, the mini donuts are delicious. And look how far back. Pike Place is truly so much bigger than what you think. When you come back behind this corridor, and this is a great pro tip, there's a lot of restaurants back here. But y'all, this is like kind of like my secret hiding spot. So if I actually have like a meal, something that's not easy to walk with, and you'll see it says down here, 2 restaurants and more shops, but I will try to find a table. And I don't know how it is today, but a lot of people didn't know that this spot existed back here. So I love grabbing something, coming out, and it also tends to feel a bit more quiet. So just take a note of that. We have a squid, you know, swimming through the sky. But yeah, this is my little secret hiding place when I'm trying to just get a little bit of downtime if I'm spending a fair amount of hours here at Pike Place Market. And yeah, I think it's so shocking when you actually get a lay of the space. And y'all, we didn't even get to all of Pike Place. I just showed you all like some of the places that were just easy for me to walk through. There are shops downstairs, as you all saw that little sign in the atrium that said some more shops. And well, that is our Pike Place adventure. Now that we're done of our quick little tour of Pike Place Market, I have one more viewing surprise. that I wanted to show you all. And while we're on our way, if you haven't already, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, support your girl. And if you like more content like this, because you will know it's a joke when I say this, I am not a theme park vlogger. I say that in the sense of I film a lot from Disney, from Universal, because who doesn't love Disney and Universal? But also because these theme parks are in my backyard, even more specifically Disney. So for me, it's easier to show you all these experiences and my journeys because it's literally where I live. But y'all, do you like your girl going on location? It is Java and Journeys, so I want to try to take you all out with me. And even if it's not an extensive series, just get a glimpse into some of my mini travels. And I try to be very careful because, again, this is not my full-time job, so it's my priority all day, every day to make sure I'm getting my work done and focus on that, which is why I don't always take you all out. But because I got myself out here, I'm like, why not? Let's give the people what they want, because I'm tired of being like, I'm Jillian, I'm going to take you all out on my journeys, and my journey is just Disney. Like, I want to expand this channel to be more than that. I want to travel more. These are my goals and my dreams. We're going to manifest these things, and we're going to just take it bit by bit. But y'all, I want to show you over by the Four Seasons that you see over here. You get a really nice view of, again, the water and the wheel. And I mean, it just shows you how sometimes things change, because these bars never actually used to be here. So you had like a better view of everything, which is what I was hoping to end it on, but that's okay. You all get the point. I showed you all a little bit so that way you have an idea of some of the amazing views. And one of the many things that I love about Seattle. So y'all, as we wrap up our journey here, what have we learned? I would say, number one, don't play yourself if you come to Seattle thinking that you're going to go to the first Starbucks. The first Starbucks no longer exists. Stop tripping. I think something else too is give the city a chance. Yes, there are a lot of issues here, but open up yourselves to traveling and seeing different parts of the United States, no matter where you're located. Even, let's just say, if you're someone who lives in a specific region or coast and you don't really get yourself out, y'all, you learn so much by stepping out. And I'm not saying moving, but just giving yourself the opportunity to visit, to see different parts of the US, even like of the world if you can, but just start a little bit smaller. Get out of your cities. Because I know when I first applied to grad school, got in over here in Seattle, a lot of my family members were just confused, like, why would you want to go over there? And I didn't have any family at all out here. And I just saw the bigger picture and the vision for myself and my life. So in having that vision, I wanted to just displace myself a moment. And I have zero regrets. My very best friends are located here in Seattle. I've made so many relationships, even through my job, up and down California, whether it's Southern California to the Bay Area. And I just have zero regrets for taking that risk. I didn't know if it was going to work out or not, but I did it because I wanted something different. And had I let the stereotypes and the things people say get in the way of that, I would not have come out here at all. So I highly recommend, if you get an opportunity, come out to Seattle. Drop down in the comments if there are any questions you have about the city, any recommendations. Let your girl know. I'm always more than happy to share some perspective with you. I'm going to continue to take a walk around here, enjoy the rest of my coffee, and just live it up in this much cooler weather, non-humidity. Y'all, I am living my best life right now. So with that being said, thank you for joining me on this quick little peek of Pike Place Market and Monorail Espresso. I will catch you on the next journey. See ya.